We just had 2 new ones last 3 weeks ago. He has traveled throughout the U.S. as well as other countries like England and Israel and Poland and Germany, telling his story to elementary schools, high schools, and universities.
In the American Army.
And the American Army. And here he is.
Good morning, everybody. Before I tell my story, I would like to bring it up first, the situation or the time of World War II, the history of World War II. In 1938, Germany almost occupied or conquered all the countries in Europe, and Poland was no exception. September 25, they came into Poland. The only stayed a week. We found out later they were afraid the Russians will open up a second front, so they divided Poland in 2 parts. Western part will be Germany, in eastern part, the city where I live, Bialystok, will be in the eastern part, will belong to the Russian. The Russian were there from 1939 to 1941. We didn't feel much difference between Polish and communist regime because we were a city of industrial city, a lot of factories like shoes, tailor shops, and so on. In June of 1941, they declared war on Russia, and they came into Bialystok on June 27, 1941. June 27 is my birthday. The first thing they did, rounded up 1,000 people, put them in a big synagogue, and put them on fire, and didn't let the fire department put out the fire. We were far away, we smelled smoke, and we didn't know what it is. In 2004, I took my family to visit my hometown in the camps, and we saw in my hometown, from the big synagogue is only left the dome, the top of the synagogue. And the first thing they did, in July, they rounded up 5,000 men and women and took them to the forest, between them my father and my uncle. They made everybody to wear a yellow star on the clothes so they know who is a Jew and who not. In July, and then in August of 1941, they told everybody the Jews got to move into a ghetto. We were 65% Jewish in the city of Bialystok, and we had to move into an area of 25%. Could you imagine how it was crowded? Some people, all family had to live in one room, not only one apartment. My mother, over here where you could see, my father was not there at that time, and my brother and sister, and we moved in with my uncle, was taken to got killed in the forest. His wife and child, we were in one room. People that didn't work wouldn't get rationing of beef and chicken. Because I was the oldest, 11 years old, I went to work as a presser in a tailor factory. So we could get the rationing of beef and chicken. On February 25, 1943, they deported all the Jews wherever didn't work, and they took them to Treblinka extermination camp, but nobody came back. Extermination camp was only a shower and ovens. In the shower, instead water would come gas, people would get choked. After they got killed, they would burn them alive. Not alive, but they burned them. In August of 1941, after we were again 43, August 1943, they declared they're going to be liquidate the ghetto. Some Jews, young Jews, like from the universities and high schools, and even grown-ups at the age of 40 or 30, took up arms and they fought against the Nazis, tried to stop them not to come in. Only guns are not the power against tanks. So what they did, there was a lot of wooden houses by the fence, and they want to give opportunity for them to run away to the forest, and for the people, wherever want to run away, by burning the houses, the fence would go down, and they could live. Because my uncle and few of the neighbors that ever lived in this building decided to build a bunker, a hiding place, because we saw in February they deport the Jews. We know time has come, and they'll deport everybody. So in Poland, at that time was no refrigeration. We had a state basement, we had cellars. In the cellars we would keep fresh food and vegetables and greenery, like vegetables, but you grow in the garden, put them in the cellar. From the cellar, we opened up a window to the backyard, and we made a bunker like in a mine. You put up wood on top on the ceiling, wood on both sides, and we were 45 people in the hiding place. Because they were in the houses, we smelled smoke. My uncle and his son and me, we went out to check. The Germans were waiting for us in the yard, and they marched us outside of the city to Petrasha field. Over there were making trains, cargo trains. Because we were so many people, they couldn't take us in one day. On the third day, went a few officers and soldiers. They rounded up 500 men, between them my uncle and his son and me. Excuse me, I gotta have a drink. And they put us in three cars. These three separate cars they put at the end of the train. When the train went to Treblinka, to the extermination camp, they put them on the side rail line. The locomotive came back, took the three cars to the first camp, Majdanek. I was in 6 camps. I was in Majdanek, then Blizhin, then Auschwitz-Birkenau, Sachsenhausen, Ohrdruf, and Köpenick. All this is was in the archive in Germany. The Blue Cross got all the documents, and that's why I got these documents showing when I was born, my number, and on the number I'll talk about it later. And there where I was. In Majdanek, we were over 4 to 5 months. We did all kind of work. We were in the morning counted and at night counted. In the mornings we give us a piece of bread with jelly. In the lunchtime, soup was only like bunion soup. No vegetables and no potatoes, only water with color. At night, a bigger slice of bread with margarine and jelly. I was there 5 months only, and one day came over a nice dressed man with a few officers that told us to say what we worked in the ghetto. My uncle was an auto mechanic. He worked on the trucks of the army. So he told me I should be a auto mechanic. This way we'll be together. I agreed because nothing like family. When they come to me, I got scared. I was only 15 years old at that time. I told them the truth, I was a presser. So they asked me, how come a young lad like you be a presser. I told him my father died, I didn't tell him he got killed, and I had to go to work. Because at that time, the German made war with Russia, and they needed warm clothes, because the winters in Europe, especially in Russia, are very harsh. So they needed warm clothes, so they needed tailors and shoemakers. They rounded up 200 men, and because a presser is a part of a tailor profession, so they took me too, and we did just 200 men, they took us to another camp. There was the second camp, Blizhin. Blizhin camp was near Radom in Poland. Over there I didn't work as a presser, I worked in the stone quarry breaking up stones to build freeways and highways. During this year was no sanitary condition. We didn't have no showers, just wash the face and brush the teeth without toothpaste with the finger. We slept between 200 and 250 people to a barrack on bunk beds. No mattresses, and no covers. After 5 months, the Russian army offensive came closer, and they moved us after 1 year. During this year too, I forgot, we had typhus. Like I say, sanitary condition was very bad, because I was very young. So I went through it in my life today from the typhus. When the Russian offensive came closer, they sent us to Birkenau, Auschwitz-Birkenau, in May of 1944. Over there we went through a selection. People, they put up 2 boards, vertical and horizontal. Wherever didn't touch the horizontal board would go to the crematorium. Wherever touched it would go to the labor camp. For some reason, I don't know, who told me, maybe God told me, I stand up on my toes and I touch the top board. I was sent to a labor camp. Over there again, we were only 6 months because the first came closer. Only that time they couldn't bring any trains to pick us up. We walked for 1 week in December in the ash. The worst weather at that time, with very little clothes, a light jacket and pants. We walked a week between farmland because they were afraid to walk us on the highway. Maybe people will start run away. People tried to, was growing vegetables on the side of the road. People tried to get some, they were killed on the spot. After we got to Germany, they took us with a train to one of the camps. Sachsenhausen. Over there, we were only 5 months or 8 months. It came opportunity, there's volunteers. If somebody wants to go to another camp, I volunteered. The reason I volunteered, because I was separated from my family. We were very loved. I thought if they still were in the bunker, maybe they're still alive. I hope to meet them someplace. I gotta do everything what I can to be able to stay alive. And I thought in my mind, is any other camp could be any worse from the one we are. So I moved to Ordruf. Ordruf was a camp, was built missiles, rockets, were shooting them all over England and other countries. Because of that, we were there not long time, and again the Russian offensive came closer. So they sent us to Bialystok. I volunteered to go to Bialystok. Bialystok is a suburb of Berlin. Over there I was in for my liberation. In Bialystok they took us every morning to clean the streets of Berlin because the Allied forces were bombing all the streets in Germany every night. So during the day we were cleaning them. In May 8, 1945, we woke up, we didn't see any guards. We looked around, we saw Russian soldiers. The guards were there. Later we find out why they ran away, because they were afraid to go to the Russian side. So they ran to the American sector. Four countries fought for Berlin: United States, England, France, and Russia. On the Russian side, so we were one thing happy, that we could find a way how to get back to our country. The Russians took out all the equipment from factories, loaded them on trains and took them to Russia. I met the officer and I asked him when your train is leaving for Russia. He told us which day. We were 25 survivors. We took the train. When we came to Poland, they stopped the train. 15 soldiers, not soldiers, people dressed regularly with guns, were waiting, looking for Jews to kill them. So they told us, why don't you help us unload the train, then you could go back to your country. Because the 25 people were not only from Poland, they were from Latvia, Estonia, and from other countries in Europe. When we came to Russia, I went to army camp, I talked to the commissary, giving out food and clothes to the soldiers. All the branches of the army would come in from the people would stay on the border. One of the secretaries came a couple times. I tried to get friendly with her and I told her my family is still alive. And if I could get 2 weeks vacation to go there, if she could give me. I bribed her with 2 bottles of vodka. She said, I can give you any documents to go for vacation. I'll give you a piece of paper with a common signature and you write wherever you want. I came to Bialystok. I didn't find no Jews. I found 2 young men walking around. I asked him, what should I do? I'm only 17 years old. They told me, why don't you go to Lodz, another city in Poland. Over there, counselors from the Jewish brigade. When they fought with the British against the Nazis, they're looking for survivors to take them to Israel. I joined them. We were 30 people in groups of young people going from one city to another, because the only way to go to Israel were with ships, and we had to take the ship from Italy. So I was 6 months on the farm in Italy until our turn came. In June of 1946, we came to Israel, only they didn't let us in, because the British had a mandate over Palestine. Israel at that time was called Palestine. It's only let in 1,500 people. For British ships waiting for us, they loaded us up and took us to Cyprus, to the city of Famagusta. Over there they built tents, big tents. We sleep on army cots. I was there only 6 months because we were the first one was they called us and sent us there. In December of 1946, I got to Israel. I asked him to learn a profession. They told me, we don't teach your profession. If you want to go to a school, you could go to agricultural school, 4 hours of study and 4 hours working on the fields. I agreed, and I worked in the fields for a year and studied. In 1947, the UN declared this Israel should have their own land. In 1948, the UN declared we should have our own state. And because declaring our own state, the 6 countries around Israel, like Egypt, Jordan, Lebanon, Syria, and everybody, Iraq was far away, only they sent soldiers to Lebanon to be able to fight the Israelis. Because I was 18 or 19 years old, I went to the army. I was there 2 years. And after 2 years, in March of 1950, I got released. Thanks God, nothing happened to me. I was not injured or nothing else. By going to restaurant to eat, I met a girl, only I didn't know that she's in the school. Only because we were people from the school where I was, and we didn't have no profession, we decided to go build a farm village. In farm village, we were only boys. It was a counselor from another farm village, teach us how to grow on the land. He told us after a couple months, there was a school of only girls in a small city in Nahal, but he wants we should meet him. Over there I met my wife. I dated her only for 8 months in January, and she's from Egypt, Cairo. In January of 1951 I got married. Not only her, even her sister, my best friend, was a double wedding. I had to go to another place to bring shoes, to bring tables and chairs for the people to enjoy our wedding. After 4 years, I didn't work on the land. I worked in the grocery store. And then my first daughter was born in the end of 1951. And the Arabs from not far from the border, because we were very close, will come to the canyon and looking to steal things. So they were shooting. They were shooting at us, we were shooting at them. The baby was crying, so I would hold her on my legs, be able to put her to sleep. After 4 years, we saw there's no life for us. I moved to Haifa and I worked in a milk dairy. Because my father was a milk distributor, and the only profession I know is milk. He was a milk distributor, would go to the farms, get milk, and sell it to other milk distributors. This way, I worked for 4 years. Usually every survivor is filling out a form. Wherever is alive. I fill out the form. My family, my grandfather from my mother's side, 11 kids, 3 in Argentina, 3 in the United States, and 5 in Poland. From the 5 families in Poland, I'm the only one survivor. So they found me, and they would like, because I'm the only one survivor, I should come and see them. In 1959, I moved to Chicago. One thing I forgot to tell, this was after I went through the selection, like I say, so they cut our hair and they give us a number. The only place they give numbers in the camps was Auschwitz A and Birkenau. Birkenau got a number B, 2433. The prisoners from the camp, they were doing the tattoos. After I came to the United States, I went to work to a milk dairy. For 20 years, I worked in a milk dairy. At that time, 2 years ago, during the last 2 years, the 20, my daughter got married and my son-in-law owned 2 auto parts stores with his father. His father was very sick. He had heart problems. So my son-in-law said, why don't you come work as a manager, be able to run one of the stores because they're far away, like 25 kilometers from one to another, and one person cannot run. I agreed. I went to work for 2 months. After 2 months, his father said I could do it. I don't have to take off time, just be a buyer for the stores. I could go back to the store. So I went back to the dairy. After 8 months, his father died. He came to me saying, would you like to buy the store? Now I want to tell you, people, that you could do anything you wanted if you put your mind to it. I worked 20 years in a milk dairy. I never finished high school, no college, no business school. We gave the opportunity to buy the store. You think I would think twice what to do? No. I told him, I'll buy it. Even my wife asked me, could you do it? I say, I have to do it. That's the way it is. I'm always positive. You could be anything you want, a dentist, a doctor, or a lawyer, or a businessman, anything. Lost, you got all your life ahead of yourself. Always be positive. Don't be depressed for nothing. Life is short. You'll have a good life. That's why my life today. I'm 96 years old, and I still travel around all over. I still do exercise, and I still play bridge. So you could see, life never stops. You gotta do whatever to get ahead of yourself. Don't think what happened yesterday. I went through a hard life for 2 years in camps, only I don't live in it. I talk about it. You could see in no notes, only I don't live in it. I live for today. I say yesterday was gone, today is today, and tomorrow will be a better day. I want to finish. I know by now that I survived the camps to be witness, to record, and tell others on the atrocities that took place in the history should not repeat itself. I wrote a book, The Life of Child Survivor from Bialystok, Poland, on behalf of the millions who could no longer speak, but had been there and seen it. Never forget the Holocaust. We should speak up and fight back by confronting anti-Semitism, a rising tide around the world that is built on hatred, prejudice, that is contributing to racism, bigotry, atrocities, intolerance in all their forms, here and around the world. My attitude for living, a strong willpower, determination to stay alive. Hard work and education pays off. Never rely on anyone but yourself. Never look back, keep moving ahead. Positive attitudes always prevail. Family is most important, cherish it. Children are our future, cherish them too. Thank you.